Hi, so this is gonna be kind of a chill video. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my experience doing online college versus in-person college. I know a lot of other college students are deciding, hey, do I go back to in-person classes? Do I do a mix? Do I do completely online classes? I just wanted to talk about a little bit about my experience. Obviously everyone's different. I did a full semester of college totally in person, and then my second semester was about half in person, half online. So for that semester, that was obviously the spring semester, I was taking 4 science classes from community college, and so obviously anyone who's taken a lot of science classes knows that those are typically very lecture heavy and often have labs. So for me, I really appreciated being in person for those classes. I really enjoy the sciences, however, it doesn't really come naturally to me. So I was going to community college, and most of my classes had, well, all of my classes had under 30 people, usually 15 to 20. And I had really nice professors. I've always had really nice professors. I've been very lucky. And often they would allow us to ask questions after or during. It was very relaxed, and I really appreciated that. And so when we went online about, I think it was after spring break, so late March, 2 of my professors, my human bio professor, my chemistry professor, decided to continue with online lectures once a week, I believe. No, twice a week for human bio and once a week for chemistry. And then so we totally skipped both of our labs for those classes. And chemistry for me has always been my most difficult class, and working with other students at my, in my area and doing those labs really helped me learn. So I really had to study a lot more, and I didn't have I wasn't able to go to the Academic Achievement Center on campus, which is basically peer tutoring. I wasn't able to do study groups or anything, so I really struggled in chemistry, because that has historically been my worst subject and still is. I passed with a C+. I got all A's except for that class. I have a good GPA, I'm an honors student, but chemistry is just so hard for me, y'all. So that was really hard. And then, so my other 2 science classes were very much relaxed. It was just more online assignments, basically, and I got really, like I said, I got A's in those classes. Actually, for one of my classes, I got more than 100% because I did extra credit. So essentially what I'm trying to say about that is, if you know you are not so good with a subject, or you just don't like a subject, I'd recommend taking that in person if you can. And if you know you like a subject more, or it just comes naturally to you, I would suggest doing that online just for safety reasons. So then now we're going to talk about my summer experience. So again, I took 4 classes, however, these were all liberal arts. I took Business Law 1, which I loved. I took Interpersonal Communication, took Comp 2, specifically Technical Writing, and I took Scientific Investigation or Criminalistics. Depending on what school you go to, it will go by a different name. And so just breaking down a little bit, Business Law is obviously a very text-heavy class. I wish I had my textbook to show you guys. It was huge, just as thick as my anatomy and physiology textbook. A lot to go through. Because it was a 10-week class, we didn't go through all of the information. However, even though I ended up getting an A in that class, I spent the most time studying for that class, and I think having lectures, we didn't have any lectures for that class. It was completely no lectures. Again, I think because it's a really information-dense class, it would have helped to be in person. And so the other class that would have been really helpful to be in person was Scientific Investigation or Criminalistics. Super interesting class. For me, I had a really small textbook. It was like this thick. I just sent it back, so I can't show you. But that class, and I'm pretty sure it'd be like this at other colleges, is very, not necessarily labs, there's several labs, but very activity dense. And I ended up having to do that at home. Y'all, I want to show you. oh, I guess I have it put away, but I did get a mini dissection kit, and I got to use that a few times, which was really fun. I got to dissect like an apple and stuff, but I wish I could have done that with other students, and that was my worst grade. I think I got a B or B plus, and it brought down my GPA. So again, just want to really make my message clear. For classes that are activity or lab like dense, I would recommend doing those in person if possible, and if you feel safe, or very like lecture heavy and information dense, and if those are classes that you historically, you know, need extra support in. So that was my summer semester. I would say, just on a personal note, more personal note, I, like, again, no lectures or whatnot, not really a lot of communication with the instructors. Haven't had a problem with any instructors, thankfully, but it was very much like, here's some assignments for the week, like, good luck. And I don't want to toot my own horn, but I would say I'm a very, like I'm good at making a schedule and sticking to it. However, that doesn't mean that that hasn't impacted me. Like, I don't have my work study job. I'm not in my old apartment, obviously. You guys have seen my old apartment. I don't have the same structure, like external structure. I have to make my own structure. So for me, even though that's not really something I struggle with, it still takes its toll on me. I still miss that. So for me, that's been my biggest struggle, is just being like, oh, it's all up to me. I'm the only one in this apartment. Where the hell is my roommate? So yeah. So again, looking forward, I haven't said this on my channel, so kind of a little bit of news for anyone who's still watching and cares, which probably is no one. I'm transferring to the University of Iowa, which, even if you don't live in the Midwest, I'm sure you've heard of. It's a Big Ten school. Iowa Hawkeyes, yay, big, awesome football team, I don't care. But anyway, I'm sure you've heard of us. We have like 34,000 students. I don't need to say we. It's based in Iowa City, Iowa, which is a town of about 74,000. It's known for being very progressive, and has, because my hometown is about an hour away, I have been able to travel there a lot. Lovely place, not really where I want to live long term, but seems like a cool place. The campus is in the downtown and all that, so it seems like a cool place to go to college. However, that's not going to happen, at least for the first semester. So for me, I just had my advising appointment a few days ago. I might put this video up a little later, but I had my advising appointment in late July, and I'm in informatics with a distinction in human-computer interaction. And I know that sounds like, what the hell is that? Informatics is basically a fancy way of saying like kind of like data science and computer science. So for my first semester, I've done a lot of gen eds, so I'm kind of more relaxed with my gen eds. So I have to take computer science, intro to computer science, which is going to be a lot. I have to take trigonometry. I actually got a decent math score, and I can go much more advanced than that, but I was like, still, I don't like math, so I want to kind of go easier. So I'm doing trig, which is basically pre-calc, I think, for y'all who like math. So I'm taking trig, and so those are the two classes that I have to do. I have to do math, have to do intro to computer science. My two gen eds, I'm taking a class in the engineering department, specifically human factors, which I'm not going to get into all what that class is, but it basically really aligns with my major, so I'm really happy about that. And then kind of the wild card class is you have to take, first year students have to take an elective or whatever, extracurricular, whatever, in diversity and inclusion in their first 2 semesters. And so I decided to do, what's it called? Sex, Politics, and the Bible. And I think I was talking to a family member, and they're like, okay, so I can see sex in the Bible, or sex in politics, or politics in the Bible, or whatever, 2 of those terms together, but all 3, that just sounds crazy. But actually, it seems really interesting. So I'm actually looking forward to all my classes, except trig. So I'm talking a lot about myself, but one more point before I kind of go back to the bigger picture is I'm also running for student senator. And there's 5 positions for the incoming class, which technically is me, even though I have 3 semesters under my belt, technically a freshman, which definitely doesn't annoy me at all. Anyways, I'm super excited about that. You know, I really, really, really want to win, of course, but more than that, I really, really want to help students. And so the things that I'm going to be running on are mainly inclusion and campus safety. Those are the 2 things I am going to be running on, so I'm super excited about that. I might make another video about that. Anyways, going back, I'm gonna sound like a hypocrite, but I want to explain myself. I am doing all online classes, and if we go back to what I said, hey, subjects that are more difficult for me or are very information dense, I would prefer to do in person. And so when I read about the courses like in detail, trig, like I said, math is not, like it doesn't come naturally to me, and human factors and intro to computer science are very information dense classes. However, I looked into the cost of doing, like going and like living there. Even if I stay in a dorm, it's expensive. I can't bring my dog, which you saw in the beginning. You've seen him a lot on my channel. Just the cost of living is a lot higher. It's in Johnson County, Iowa, which has more cases than my home county of Jefferson County, Iowa, which currently I believe we have around 65 or 70. So yeah, I don't want to go there. And I guess one of my other points of this very rambly video is I feel like I've done a lot of, like I've learned a lot about myself through this last few months, and I feel like I know a lot more about my learning style, and I feel like if things were more ideal, I would be able to be a successful student, which I struggled a lot in high school, and I was really nervous I'm not going to do well in college, but I've actually surprised myself. I'm not perfect by any means, but I've surprised myself. I've learned a lot about myself. And I feel like with the last few months under my belt, I can make educated decisions about my education going forward. However, COVID kind of messed it up. So anyways, this very rambly video's point, if anyone's still watching, is, I just want to acknowledge anyone who's been really, really working at anything the last few months, especially in school, and maybe feels like, oh, I want to go back, or I think I know what's best for me, but there are external factors that are saying, hey, that's actually not what is going to happen. So I just wanted to say, hey, I see anyone who's been struggling and feels like that they haven't improved and feels like maybe that going back would help their mental health, or hey, I want to go make friends or be involved, or I want to move out of my parents' house, or whatever it may be. I see you, you're not alone. Everyone fucking hates this time. And the last thing I want to say is thank you, essential workers, and Black Lives Matter. I haven't made a video about that because I'm white and I don't really know what to say, but that's what I want to say. So for anyone who's actually watched this very rambly video, thank you, and I hope you're doing well, and you can always reach out to me if you need to talk to someone. Bye.